when I was young. My father was a banker. He was also a member of parliament. And those days, cars were very few, but he had buses, you know. Person would take buses to the village. We'd sit each one child in one bus and go, woo. When we reach the village, all the people are, you know, you can be young and people are calling you Muzei. They say, Muzei, you sit here because you're the son of a rich person, you know. So I thought that life was always going to be like that. When you want shoes, you ask shoes, they give you. When you want to eat sausages, you say, I want this, they give you. When you want clothes and this, they give you. I'd never experienced a place where they are saying that there's no money today, you know, where they're saying that there's no food, which other people are facing every day. That's why I said we start by praying. We should never, ever, and if you can listen to me, ever take life for granted. Life changes in just a second like this. This Africa we are in is another very funny country, full of political turmoil. I've seen things change, and the changes began with me. My father was a member of parliament. Time of Obote, you've heard of Obote? Yes. President Obote. So when I was in senior one, that time I was a very clever kid. I was in, you've heard of King's College, Budo? Yes. That was my school. You've never heard of it? That is a school in Uganda which was made for the children of kings. Yeah? Children of kings from Gulu, they'd bring them, Acholi, they'd bring them there. From Bunyoro, they'd take them there. From Buganda, they'd take them there, you know. And also me, they took me there. So I was a big man. Now I was in my senior one. Oops. All my life I was living life like you guys. Then we woke up one day, and the government had changed. They just announced on radio, the government of so and so has been taken over by so and so. Gunshots all over the place, you know. Bullets, bullets, bullets. My father he had been allocated a pistol, but he was now scared even to be with it. To have it, they can kill you. They'd shoot bullets, would take cover under the table. My father, who I knew was a big man, would take off the lights, you go under the table, you look who is this one you're looking at. Your father is also under looking at you. You know? You're both scared, you don't know what is going to happen. All of his property, his buses, everything, it was taken away. So one morning you are rich, by evening time, you are poor, there's nothing. Okay? I used to go to school, I had all the grab, clothes, friends would come to borrow. This time, I became one of those people. You know, there are those people in school who you say those people, they're on a bursary. They don't have money. Now when that happened to me, I really felt very bad, you know. As young people, one of the things that disturb us is identity. We like to identify, we like to be recognized. We like to be known. That's why I'm telling you about choices. You are in formative years right now. You are growing up, and each choice you make today is going to affect the rest of your life. If there's anything you should learn today, it is that one. However young you are, each choice you make today will affect you for the rest of your life. So when I found that me was no longer popular because I had money, I said, now I'm going to find a way to become popular. There was a group of boys who used to go out of school to drink. My parents never used to drink. They used to go to church, even I think my mother at that time had started speaking in tongues, so I didn't understand it. So these boys who are going to drink, now me, I had no money to be known as a rich person. I said, let me go and drink with you. Let me now be known as a bad guy in school. If I can't make my name in a good way, in a bad way. So he started escaping from school to drink. Go to the villages. You know, Buddha is on top of a hill. Yeah, the drink is very, very, very sour. Bad, but you see, you are coughing. I said, me, I want to be like these big boys also. They'd come drunk and tell funny stories. So I started drinking. Eventually, the thing became, sweet. Addicted. I was drinking almost every day. People were going to class, me I was going to drink. I did not concentrate on books because this was more important to me. I was seeking acceptance. I was seeking a family. We started drinking, started smoking. And you know, when you start smoking, you don't stop at cigarettes and drinking. You want something stronger. So I started taking marijuana. In school, I'd come back, people are in preps, me, I'm coming back with my jacket, drunk, just, laughing at everybody, thinking that they were silly for reading their books, Strikes, we used to organize strikes in school, bad food. In order to dodge exams, I was suspended. Eventually, I was expelled from Buddha. I got good, my father knew how to give canes good ones, and he really caned me thoroughly. He caned me and caned me and caned me, but I was very stubborn. He took me to another school, but I had something inside I was dealing with, but I didn't know how to express it. So my whole life just went into rebellion. The school I went to, I was doing well in class, surprisingly, but always looking for gangs, looking for groups, looking for whatever, seeking a family in my friends. So the pressure of people wanting to do things, they say, hey, we escape from school and do this. I'd never said no. Because if I say no to my friends, who's going to be my friend? I was not confident in myself, to know what I wanted, to be able to say no. Saying no is a very hard thing, by the way. Did you know how to say no? Sometimes. Do you know how to say no? Now you see, I'm asking you, do you know how to say no? You are saying yes. Say no. Yeah? You're saying sometimes that you know how to say no, you're saying yes. I want you to say no. Because we are practicing saying what?
No.
Saying no. There's a lot of pressure we get from friends. I have my boys, 2 boys. One is 2, another is 4. So where we stay, there's a very, very stubborn boy. And I really believe parents at times are responsible for the way children turn out. Though in my case, it wasn't like that. This boy goes around scratching cars. And then he goes looking for my son and comes and tells you, follow me. So I've given him kiboko at times in front of everybody, because he has got to learn how to say no. If you don't learn how to say no from an age like this one, believe me, your life is going to end up in very, very big problems. There's a point, we'll come to that one later, where you've got to stand and know that you do not need anybody to make you who you are. You've got to learn to see what comes to you, the choices that you make. This is a yes, this is a no, and let it be clear. If you can master that from now, I'm telling you, your life is set for the rest of your life. Are we together? So I was telling you, I went to school drinking, smoking, what? Eventually, get girlfriends and what, all that kind of thing. You have to watch my language. We are different ages here. But you understand what I'm talking about. And that was a long, long time ago. That is the time when diseases were just coming in. I'm a very old man, even though I'm still handsome. I'm not, but I'm an old guy. So when you do something wrong, it's like if we are thieves here, if me and him we are thieves and we just robbed a bank somewhere. If a police car comes and parks here, we will start running even before anybody says anything. When you do something wrong, you're always on standby. You have stolen at home, you look, your father comes, he says, looking at you, it seems he has known what you have done. So you are always, on standby like this and like this. So when you engage in things like, the grown-up people, you understand. The opposite sector and vichi. Somebody came and told me, and I said, this girlfriend of yours died of AIDS. I said, what? And that was those days. AIDS had just come inside, and there was AIDS which could kill even in 7 days. They used to call it siku saba. And those days, they hear that you have AIDS at your home, nobody can come. If you stay here and the road was passing here, they'll pass a route round like this. They say it will come with that air and what? Infection. A cup, nobody can use a cup you're using. So because I was doing bad things, somebody told me something. And I believed it because it could happen. So I looked at myself, I said, hey, I'm going to die now. You know? I wrote a book. It is here actually. It's called Living Lies. It all begins with a lie. And the base of this book is the verse which says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Whatever kind of problem you're in, you get to know the truth will. So this boy, this friend of mine told me a lie. It wasn't true. But from that time I believed it. I said, now I am dead. Looking at myself as waiting to get malaria, I know I'm going to die. Going to class, they are teaching Shaka Zulu. I wouldn't care because I'm going to die. I didn't see any future at all for my life because I thought I was going to die. So what I started doing now, I said, I need to drink more. I need to smoke more. I need to spend my life very high. I need to enjoy myself as much as possible. So when I go when I'm full. You know? Those are the lies we tell ourselves. You get one lie, you add on another. Have you ever told lies before? Yes. That is why you should not say no. There you'll be telling a lie. The problem with telling a lie is I'll tell a lie today. Then after 5 days, they'll ask me something connected to that lie. I've got to remember it and tell another lie. And another one, and another one. And one thing we don't know is that lies are like people. There's X lie, there's Y lie. Once you get them together, they'll produce something. Okay? Once you start from lying, it won't take you long. You'll advance to stealing. You know? They say a liar is a thief who hasn't got an opportunity. If I can tell you a lie today, it means if I get a chance to steal something of yours tomorrow, I will steal it. There is no sin that begins and stays at a level where it is. It definitely has to grow. Okay? So, lies, I was told a lie, I believed a lie. Then I started telling myself other lies. You have no future. You are hopeless. You are dead. You are finished. Now to drown out these voices, I'm drinking, taking weed, doing this and that, going out to dance and whatever to drown those voices. As a young person, like you people are young, you cannot go into things like that. There are things adults do. Like when we talk about sex, there's an age for that one where it is very good, but not your age right now. Okay? There are some people who may drink, it may be okay for them at a certain, But you get into these things, you are young. You are destroying your body, destroying your mind, and you do not have money for them. So as I continued drinking, I found I needed money. The pocket money you get, even some children, you don't want pocket money. The grab you have at home is enough, or at school. But here they'd give me pocket money or something. In 2 days it is finished because you're drinking. So now you start looking, where can I get money to drink? Then you open up your mind. And this devil is a very nice character. He sits there and he shows you opportunity. Because I'd want cigarettes, I'm at home, where do I get cigarettes? I'd think and think, then he'd tell me, you see that bulb there? You take it out, put in a dead one. Tell mommy that the bulb has died. So I'd change the bulb, go to mommy, the bulb is dead. And say, okay, get this money, go and buy another one. She gives me money, me, I go buy my cigarettes and my drink, then I replace the what? And feel very good about myself, Starting like that. Then the time reaches when you have changed all the bulbs in the house. You start noticing things which another person would not notice. I'm trying to warn you, okay? I'm not saying things that you should go and do them. I'm trying to warn you problems that come. You start small. Money would get finished. I said, no. So I'd wait, Dad would come back in the evening. He was always smart in his suit. And always he had the money inside here. So he'd come, coming, hey, take his things, hey, reach in the pocket. I started stealing. Are we together? My mother had a shop in Kampala. She used to take me there to learn how to do business. Stealing from there, indulging in my habits, thinking I had no future. Slowly by slowly, you advance from lying, you go to stealing, you go to conning people. I got involved in the, what you can call, where you watch it on TV, the criminal underworld of Kampala. Because when you're in town, you meet people who do all kinds of deals, all right? Before I knew it, even now I joined university, I don't know. I was very bright. I was arrested, you know. I'm not going into details on that. It's in this book and whatever. I was arrested, I was put in prison, you know. My character was not the right character. You could suspect me of anything. All my education, I was all the time waiting to die. Even going to university, I was wasting time. I had no future. The Bible says, where there's no vision, the people perish, you know. So when you don't see anything ahead of you that is where you're going, that you're aimed at, you know, we're talking about challenges, you know, overcoming challenges, you know, of youth delinquency, teenage challenges. Where there's no vision, it's something very important. If you don't have something that you're focused upon, there's nothing you can do. You're just leading a life which is going to destroy you. So I found myself arrested. I spent time in police. My reputation was destroyed. After some time, I was released. There was no big case against me. My father had no money. He was poor. But he decided to borrow money here and there. He said, my boy should have an education. Let him go abroad and study. So he struggled. They got me a university abroad. They told me to go and study. But remember that I still thought I had what? AIDS. And those universities, they say in order to study in that university, they have got to check you to see that you don't have AIDS. Now I couldn't tell my father that I had what? AIDS. I couldn't tell my mother. I said if I tell them I have AIDS, everybody is going to run away from me. So I sat. I said that if I'm to go to the university, they will check and find I have AIDS and send me back. So I sat, what should I do? That is another point I'll come to later if you're writing, is that in life you need somebody older than you, a mentor who you can always talk to. Okay? Because when you sit alone at your young age thinking that you know everything and you don't want to listen to anybody, you tell lies to yourself. So I sat and thought, I said, now what I'm going to do, I can't tell them I have AIDS now. I can't go to the university and they send me back after finding I have AIDS there. Let me go to another country and start my life again. My dear had just been arrested in police, you know, for a very bad case. So they said, we look for the ticket, everything. I got a ticket which had a stopover in Nairobi and then was continuing. So time came, they escorted me, the whole family. Hey, that boy is going to study. He's very bright. Went to the airport, sat down, prayed, everything. It was very good. Boarded the plane. For me, 45 minutes after boarding the plane, when it made a stopover in Nairobi to pick up other people, I went out. I told them, we'll see you later. They are waiting to pick me up at the university. There at the airport, they see the man is not coming. This man is like Schwarzenegger in Commando. Have you seen that movie? When he jumped out of the aeroplane. That was me. I had disappeared in the middle. Nobody knew what had happened to me. That is what drugs do to you. They make you lose touch of reality. You start seeing things, you see things in films as though they are real. You make choices that are very stupid. If I had sat and talked to somebody, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have got medication. If I had listened, they'd have said, maybe let us go and you test and you see. I'd have gone and found it was all a lie, that I was negative. I'd have gone ahead and studied. Right now, you'd find that I've come with, I don't know how many cars escorting me, minister of so-and-so, minister of so-and-so. Are we together? But because I believed a lie and I did not talk to anybody, I had no elder person I could confide in. I went digging more problems. They say when you're in a pit, you have dug a hole for yourself. The first thing you should do is to stop digging. But me, I was continuing digging and making the problems. I went to Nairobi now. Everything is there. Started drinking, started everything all over again. And in a short time, I got many friends. When you have money, the friends are there. In a short time, all the money. I remember those who have been to Nairobi, there's a place called Uhuru Park. I'll never forget. And that's why I'm telling you, not take things for granted. I'd sit here in the park. They had a restaurant around there. The smell of the food would just come. And you don't have a coin on you to be able to what? To buy it. It is smelling so nice, so everything. If I'd have a little money, I'd buy like a small, these buns, they call them one, a cover and a dry tea. Hunger hit me. I had nowhere to sleep. I was the perfect example of the prodigal son in the Bible. You know. Somehow I made some calls and what managed to sneak back in the country. But I was too ashamed. The prodigal son was sharp. He went back to his father. Me, I couldn't go back home. I said, how can I go back home? As in police, they took me out. They take me to go abroad, I refuse to go. Now I come home as what? To do what? I have what? And I thought I was going to die. You know, lies building up on themselves. Remember times I'd escape, come at home near at night and look at my brothers and sisters in the house. From the faces, you know, you're just peeping like this. You want to come back home, but you can't. And that's where the devil comes in, lies going on to other lies. So I said, now what should I do? At that time, I used to deal in small things. We used to deal in cars, stolen cars, take them from one country to another and what to get money. So I said, let me now go deep into this business. Home, I've closed it. I no longer have a home anymore. The drugs, that's what they are telling me. So I started. It didn't take long. I was arrested again, taken to police. Now I said I don't even want my family to know. I just want to die. My mother looked for me when they heard about it, you know, all the way. I was taken to prison anyway. Let me just make it brief. I was taken to prison. I spent there 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years. After 6 years, you know, there were cases against me, many cases and whatever. After 6 years, they condemned me to death. You know what that one means? What does it mean? They say you are not worth living with people. You go, they put a rope around your neck and they hang you. I was taken to a place which is called condemned section, death row. Some of you have seen it on TV, but you do not know what it means. You only need to get there to understand what the place is like, which is why I'm here talking today, because I don't want any of you to ever end up in a place like that. I'd spend days sitting and thinking all about my life, the mistakes I'd made. Mind you, when I was in prison, they came now wanting to test inmates. So I said, me, I'm dead already. Let me go and see and what. Going to test, they bring the blood is saying I'm what? Negative. I said, how good you look. I was outside, I thought I was dead. Now I'm now inside going for death and you're saying I'm alive. What kind of God is this one? I looked and it hit me so bad, you know. And this was before I was condemned to death, by the way. That thing hit me so bad. And another thing, there's a time when I'd spent around 4 years, I got tired of waiting. I said now, because they hanged people twice when I was there. So this was after the second time they hanged, I think, 28 people. I said to me, I'm not going to sit here for what? I said I'm going to escape. I had a gang of friends. They used to call me Jupiter. I was leading a prison gang. The stories are inside here. So I had a friend who was a master escapee. So we planned on how I could escape. Prison break. It is all inside here. You know, we sit up in the morning and plan while we are taking our weed every day. You know. So we planned. I said either I'm going to escape and get out, or they are going to shoot me. You see, when I was in prison, Unfortunately, they got me when I was trying to escape. I was hiding in a trench somewhere waiting for it to become dark. Kumbe somebody had spotted me. So the guard they took me, there was one of the meanest guards. They have things called batons, you know. They hit you here, your ankles, your everything. You end up becoming lame for the rest of your life. But I reached this man, a very harsh man, and he was asking me questions. And eventually I told him the truth. But I told him, I said, I was just high and something told me to go, you know. But somehow, me who expected either to die or to be free, I had left my place where I sleep knowing I'm not coming back. But this man took me back to my cell, opened for me and said, enter. Me who should have gone for beating and punishment and whatever. I actually broke down that day. I said, God, what do you want with me? I want to die, you are keeping me alive. Like, everything was a mess. It is around there that I had a bit of a turning point in my life. So it was after, like 4 years after I'd been in prison, before I had been condemned to die. So there was this gentleman who called me just now. This was a former minister. He's called Chris Rakasis. Now, he was inside. He was also on death row. He was in prison for 24 years, also himself. So he was a political prisoner, kind of. So he knew my father. We started with his children who were in Nairobi together. So he started looking for me. And you know, prison, I didn't want to be, I was looking at myself as a hopeless person, you know. So he started looking for me. He'd call me to play chess and what. And the thing that got me was he had very nice food, you know. Prison, there's portion and beans, but this minister had special food. They'd make for him chapatis, rice, meat, milk, bread, eggs. So he'd always call me to come and we'd eat. So I said going to see him mainly because of the what? Of the food. Every time, I'm telling you, don't know how good food tastes when you're in prison. Their portion and beans are very terrible. So slowly by slowly I started going, not knowing that he was trying to change my mind and the way I'd act. So I started by chess, food, then he started talking to me about the Bible, you know, slowly by slowly, asking me to go to church. Kumbe, when I'd leave his cell, I'd go to mine, I have my drug guys there waiting, you know. I was a big boss there. Nobody would touch people if they're smoking drugs in my cell. So slowly by slowly, the more I interacted with this old man, he was teaching me things, the Bible, he was teaching me about culture, economics. Like, he was opening my mind to another kind of life. And by now, by the way, I knew now I wasn't sick, you know, I knew I was going to be alive. The more time I spent with him, the less time I wanted to spend with this other group of people. Slowly by slowly, I saw that desire of wanting to smoke, you know, drugs. It was reducing. I didn't want the drugs anymore. I was going into the Bible. Until a time came, I told my friends that, you guys, you know what, I've had enough. If you want to continue smoking in my soul, you can smoke, but me, I've had enough. I spent on death row, I spent how many years? I spent 14 years on death row. So those were now 20 years which I'd spent inside there. To God, by His grace, somehow, He pulled me out of there. I came out of prison after spending 24 years, inside there, you know. So I entered when I was 22, I came out when I was 46. Hey, but I'm still handsome. So I've been out now for 5 years, so don't do mathematics, don't do. And actually, for God forgive me, I told my wife lies. I told her I was 37 when I came out, because I met her then. I told her I'd been in America and what. Because I didn't know the roads, I didn't know town and everything. But when I saw love was increasing, I said, you know, when I told you I was 37, I was telling lies, isn't it? I said that time I was 47, said what? And she's young, actually. I'm older than her mother. So you had. by a year or two, she's becoming 30. You didn't hear that one. Because she's now 29. So after that, I told her, I said, when I said I was in America, I wasn't in America actually. I was in prison. She said, what? I told her actually I wasn't in prison, only I was on death row. She said, she almost fainted actually. But she had got to know me in a different way, so she decided to try. And now we have 2 kids. I got married actually during COVID. So what I'm trying to say is like there are choices that we make. Some which we start, my wrong choices started when I was in senior 1. Okay? We are age, some of you have passed, an age some of you are getting to. A small, simple choice, but it grows into something very big. The life you are living before cannot protect you at all. But life and fate, it becomes something else. Having nobody to talk to makes you believe and judge things on your own that you do not know. I don't know if people have mentors at school. You have. You have mentors at school. You confide in them, you talk to them properly and everything. That one we didn't have. I couldn't talk to my father. I had no older brother. My father, him, as long as you do well in school, you're okay. If you don't pass properly, he doesn't want to have anything to do with you. Not all parents are not perfect, but they care, If you feel you can't get someone you can talk to as a parent, find somebody who's older who can advise you. So all of those things grew, and I ended up there, We are talking about fighting teenage challenges. You guys have very many these days. Challenges which I can't even imagine. I have my nephew. He's in primary 5. And he didn't want to go to school. I was saying, why? He says, when I go to school, people tease me. They tease me that what? Tease you what? They say I have hips, that he has fat bums or something. I think. So he stopped eating food, trying to lose weight. Because people at school are teasing him. They do that a lot, I hear, these days. Right? When I see people like graduating and like all of you guys who are here, I'd hope maybe at some time we can take a group photo. You look at this photo after like 10 years from today, and then you'll wonder, where is so-and-so? Where is so-and-so? Where is so-and-so? Where is so-and-so? We'll all sit here and we'll get the same thing. But how we put it to work is going to be different. Some are going to succeed, some are going to fail, God forbid, And then those who fail, even though he was your friend at this time, you find he's no longer your friend, Because of my failures, I lost all my friends, all of them. I'm just trying to make new friends again. Because nobody wants to be a friend of a criminal, of a crook, of a thief, of a drug addict, of anything like that. That's why when we began, we were saying, what is it that you know? What is it that you want in somebody? So, you can be the same thing, all right? And I don't want to talk much. I want us to discuss. Finally, I wanted you to know that however bad things are, we've all made mistakes. Maybe here with our own mistakes that we have done, wrong things that we have done, maybe you don't respect your parents, maybe you've cheated someone here and there. Everybody knows, you know the things that you do. However bad it is, it cannot be turned around, right? As long as you know the truth, you face it. You don't fear. Anything can be turned around. If now, yesterday I was on death row, I left my friends there. But now I'm outside here. I have my wife, I have my children, I have my small cars at home, and most important, I've got a chance to talk to you. Who would give me a chance to talk to anybody, So if that one can happen, anything can change. So I don't want you to lose hope. However bad things are, it can always turn for the better. Don't be like me. You add a problem to a problem to a problem. Okay? And if you know friends of yours who are going through things like that, you talk to them. From helping people, you find that you're even helping yourself more and more. And prison is another kind of university. There are all kinds of criminals who teach you all kinds of things. You know, you want to, all kinds of things I can't even mention. So you find guys, there's a guy who came on defilement. He was a soldier, a young guy. He was a good football player actually. He went out after 6 months. He was back on murder. You know, he was a handsome guy. He was a good-looking guy. But now his whole face, because he'd poured acid on a woman and they found him with acid remaining. So they held him, the people, and poured the remaining things all over him. So his whole one eye was out, the whole thing. He had pus just oozing out. Like, you really need to see the effects of rebellion and sin to really understand that those things don't help you. So he was brought back on a worse case. He eventually committed suicide from prison and died. He couldn't take it off. You know? So in prison I had a gang. When I got there, because I thought also I didn't want to come back home. I didn't think anybody was welcoming me. So I said, now let us have our gang where we look after ourselves. So it was, we had rebels there, we had street kids there, we had, it's all in the book, we had crazy guys there. But now in prison, since you are not allowed to meet, like the way we meet now, to find 2 or 3 people talking, it is a crime. What are you discussing? What are you planning? The only way we could congregate and meet was under the guise of a football team. So because we had a small pitch there where people would play football, so we formed our team, and it was called Jupiter. Now Jupiter, we had all of these street kids there, all of, you know, they'd come, these were guys who used to get for us weed, they used to bring for us food from the kitchen, we would sit like bosses. But now where we would congregate, maybe in my cell and what, discuss, we would do it under the guise that we're having executive meetings. So Jupiter became the word for tough guys in the prison. So somebody would say, I'm a Jupiter, or that is a Jupiter. Our uniform used to put on all black. So me, who was heading Jupiter, I got the name Jupiter. I can call an ex-prisoner now, you can say, hey, Jupiter Ogambachi. I say, ah, Dipo, man. So that is how I got the name Jupiter. It symbolizes something else, back then. Loyalty. One of the things that took me there is that I wasn't loyal to my friends. I wasn't loyal to my girlfriend. I left a girlfriend. When I was arrested, she had my baby. We got a baby when we were in university. So I left the baby when the baby was 6 months. By the time I was released, the baby was now 25 years old. So my son is more like a brother to me. But I'm still young. You know? So when I got out, like, that's why I'm talking about you guys who are here. Yeah? You have a bond, you have something that connects. You don't lose it, you know? Because I lost all my friends when I was in prison, all of them. I have friends, they are ministers, they are heading operations, government, everything. But we don't talk now. So this one now, they threw me away, this one is going to die, this is hopeless. Once you fail to live up to a certain level, all the people you have around you will. But I don't know how much I'd love to like graduate with all my friends there. To lose friends who you have from way back is a real terrible thing. So I learned that mistake in prison. In prison, the friends I had, I was faithful to them. I know prison is a very harsh society. There are times you risk punishment, you risk what, because of being loyal to people, not being a snitch. You know, helping, you've got to work your way out to get what it is that you want to survive. So I got a friend who was there, a young fellow, was Chinese. He came in, he had been in the country for less than even, is it 2 months or something? So when he came to Uganda, his mother had businesses here. He started moving around, drinking what, he met Ugandan girls. So his uncle wanted to send him back. He fought with his cousin, accidentally stabbed the uncle died. So he was brought into prison, he didn't know English, didn't know anything. And where I was a leader. So this young man came, had no money, no food, no nothing. I tried to help him out. The food I had, we were sharing it because he couldn't really manage prison food and what. So somehow connected, he got in touch with these people, you know. He was just there, like a simple guy, like these coolies used to come and build the Uganda railway or something. So I connected him to his people. Little did I know that he came from a rather rich family, got a lot of money. So I helped him out when he got step by step, fine, you handle your stuff, I handle mine. But we became very good friends, We'd read together what he learned English, very intelligent fellow. So his mother got to know me, appreciating what I had done for him. When I got out of prison, I'm busy looking around. You get out, you're an old man, people, look at you as useless, you can't do anything. You were seeing ATMs they're using, I didn't understand. How do you put a paper here, they give you fuel and what, The whole city had changed. So as I was wondering what to do, I am a good mathematician. I had another brother who was doing money lending business. So I studied how they are doing their thing, they'd lend money, and then collect every day. You pay in a period of 1 month. So I started the business, I said, this one I can do it. It can get me, And I did not stay at my brother. I looked for a place where I could stay on my own. That's what you need to learn. You kids suffer from something called entitlement. And I think that may be the reason why your parents have brought you here. Entitlement is this feeling that the world or your parents or something owe you something, which they don't. They work for themselves, and most of them you find your parents getting to where they were. They used to suffer in the sun, maybe looking after cows, doing this and that, going through problems to get where they are. And then you come and you get a soft life and think you'll manage the way they did. No. They want you to learn the other side of life so you can be able to take care of yourselves. That's what I did. I told my brother, even though I'm out, I've got to stay alone. I'll see how I'll manage. Now, staying alone, I had no money. I looked now who can help me. So I reached out to the Chinese. I said, I have this deal. I'm not borrowing money to it. I want to start a business. I'll pay you back. So they lent me money, 10 million shillings. Now, before I was we used to cut like one onion. You cut it into 4 pieces. That takes you for 4 days if you're lucky enough to cook. The money I'd have in prison, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, was a lot of money. Now I had 10 million shillings. I felt I was like Golora. I was like Bill Gates and everything. But I got the money I'd learned from the mistakes I made before. Businesses where I spend money now. So I registered a company, money lending, started from there. Got employees, loans officers and what. So I started moving out, lending money, 100,000, 200, 300, every day they'd collect a bit. I started from 1 branch, it became 2, 3. Now when the hand of God is on you, 4 branches. So it's around that time when I bought my car, organized getting married and all that kind of thing. Because I'd pay these guys, they'd lend me more money. I pay them, lend me more. That relationship, being true to your word, which before I wasn't. Before I'd tell people things they wouldn't believe me. As a con man, a liar, a thief, a cheat, everything. But now, I had got one person to believe me, I wasn't going to lose that one. So I did that business until COVID time. COVID came and hammered me thoroughly, People may have money, workers are caught up in places they can't move, their families need money. So I lost money, more than 70 million shillings like that, But God always, when he closes a door, he opens another. So I had another friend also who had met under strange circumstances, who was in car business, and he pulled me there, introduced me to car business. Buying, selling cars, recovery, and that kind of thing. So I went into car business also. I got some money, I went into... when you have been sitting for a long time is when you understand the need to work. If you read my book, you'll see how I was taken to a prison in Ginger. And now they made us... I asked so I could work out. They said, can you manage? I said, yes. They were refusing. I said, I have to work. They took me, taught me carpentry. They'd pull us to go and dig. I'd never dug in my life. They'd bring hose and say, pick. But because I wanted to be out of the prison, I say, I'm going. Now people would rush for hose, me, I don't know. Then they leave very small ones, me, being a gentleman. Kumbe, I didn't know that this short hose can break your back, So you go digging here, the time you're through. We used to go into swamps, we really did things. It was work. I'd put on shoes like you people. And the prisoners laugh at me, hey, you're a baby, you're what? So me wanting to show I'm Jupiter, I take off my shoes. Gumbe, they are pushing me to places where there are thorns, snakes, what? And they'd laugh at me, but, I had to work. It was a good experience. I learned a lot. And it humbles you. So it taught me about work. So when I came out, I wanted to do all kinds of work. I went into a bees. I was helping some friends of mine who did carpentry. They made for me beehives. I got around 300 put in our village there to, get honey and bee venom. Like anything, I try to go into it. But after a while, I thought now, because I'm getting requests from people who have come out of prison, they need help. People in prison need help. I'm trying to help. My resources, my wife is saying I'm putting it all on prisoners. So that is when I came up, I said, now, let me try and make it official. I see maybe other people can help me to help these people. Because if you don't help prisoners when they've come out, they end up becoming worse than they were before. So that is how I started that NGO, which is what I'm doing now. Government wants us to help, to work all over the country. How government can give me criminal to head an NGO and give me an NGO certificate license in less than a year. It is something which is not easy, by the grace of God. So we're supposed to help reintegrate ex-inmates, see how they can fit back in society. And then we're also supposed to reach out to guys like you, young people. So you can, if possible, in my book I say, my father used to tell me one thing, which please you don't forget. He used to say experience is the best teacher. You agree? But it's a teacher for fools also. That's what they told you also. Because a wise person, when you tell him he learns. But a fool says, those people are joking. Let me go and see for myself. And getting there is where he gets banned. So me as the biggest fool ever. But what I live for and what I'm really grateful for is a chance to talk to guys like you. If maybe there's one person who was slowly going to end up on a path that I took, you learn to say no. All right? You learn to look ahead. You have something that you can compare to. You said, this other fellow did this and this and this, and it took him here and here and here. Me, I'm not going to do that one. So if I can save one from going to where we were, then we'll have done something really great. Okay? Yes?
You have not told us about the other man you called. Who called you?
The man who called me, that man who called me, Zan used to give me food. So when he calls me to come, I respect him very, 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 very much. He's now a senior presidential advisor. He's called Chris Rakasisi. You could have heard of him. He used to be minister in charge of security in Obote's regime. So when he calls me, I cannot ignore his call. He saved my life. That is the importance of mentors. If anything, please look for somebody older than you who cares about you, who you can talk to about anything. That is one of the most important things that you need as a young person. If you don't have that person, look for that person. However young you are. It may be an older brother, you're lucky. Those who don't have elder brothers or sisters, you're in a problem. Okay? Somebody you can confide in about anything. But trying to solve your problems on your own, especially for now, you're just adding, fuel to fire. The beautiful thing about death row is that they put you there. Every day you wake up, you don't know if the day is going to end when you're still alive. Because they come for you all of a sudden, as the Bible says, like a thief in the dark. So you live with fear every single minute of your life there. Because it just takes a whistle, you say, "Whoo." There's a time when some lawyers came to help us. Forgive me for giving you a bad example. We used to pray every morning, every afternoon. So we had a very serious, charismatic, pastor, inmate of there. He used to head the Pentecostal church. So they came and called us abruptly. The blood, which was everybody in Dani. Enter. So just they were praying, he entered, and he knew it was time now. He'd just been preaching his stomach. And we never used to have toilets. We used buckets because we are not allowed access to toilets inside there. His stomach just gave way. Kumbe, they wanted us to create space for lawyers to enter. There were very many. Then we come and address us. But here the fear, we laughed at him, I'm telling you. But it's true. So I wrote this book. It sounds funny, a number of things, but we used to pray. You pray on a corridor. Here, the gallows is just there. Actually, a girl is where we used to do exercise. You know, where they are just jogging up and down and all. But we lived with it every day. And as the Bible says, treasures of darkness, there's nothing that makes you wiser than problems or periods of hardship. You learn to value, to treasure life. When we're inside there, we'd pray, God, please help me. At least they convict me to 30 years. Praying seriously, fervent prayer. But anything to get you out of there. So what we're talking about, causes and choices and consequences, they are real. The Bible, one of the things that touched me, in the Bible there's a story of Abraham. Jesus was telling a story of Abraham, of some rich guy and Lazarus. The rich guy had a lot of food. So he'd sit and eat, throw food here and there, and he had a poor guy outside sitting. So the poor guy would even beg to eat the crumbs that fell from Lazarus' table. The time came when both Lazarus and the rich guy died. The rich guy found himself in hell. Then he looked up, he was seeing Lazarus, who was there enjoying himself with Abraham. So he said, crying out, Abraham, Abraham, you help me, tell Lazarus, at least he brings for me some water from there, I drink because it is too hot. So Abraham told him, he said, no, Lazarus, where he is now, he cannot cross to this side. So he said, okay, Abraham, if that is the case, what you can do, you get somebody from there to go and tell my brothers who are on earth to be careful that there's hell here, it is not simple. They should be careful with their lives. Abraham turned and he told him that, my friend, you have had prophets, pastors, they have come there to tell you, and you have not heard. If you cannot even listen to somebody who came from the grave, there's no salvation for you. So Chris was telling us, if we cannot listen to him who has come from death row and seen what is there, you don't listen to somebody telling you that, like what I'm trying to share with you today, then there is practically no hope for you now. My dad died of a broken heart, yeah. And he told me, got severe problems. He told me he came to see me on Thursday. I was at court and he'd really lost weight, everything. He had that problems. He told me that I'm the one who brought him those problems. It makes me want to cry now. Anyway, so it was like that. So he blasted me. My mother told him that, you stop there. I said, I may never get another chance like this. But my mom was there. My mom is still there up to now. And they tried their best. They are very supportive in whatever. But then you find that there's a life you have to live, and you have to live it yourself. It's not easy. It is at times it comes, you learn too late that people love you, You learn too late the hurt that you cause to people. You may take it simple when you're young, but whatever you do affects not only you, but also your people, your family, your community. Because my family suffered with me for all of those years. And me as lucky as inside prison. The criminals there, nobody condemning you. But outside, there's all this abuse, all this hate, all of this talk, they had to bear. My mother had to walk up that prison hill once every 2 weeks to bring me something to eat, For all of those years, my sister. And if it wasn't for family. That's why I say even in this book, important things you've got to learn. One is to learn to love God and respect Him. God, listen to Him, listen to your teachers, listen to your mentors, elders. They are very important. However wise you may think you are, listen to them. 2 is to learn the importance of family. Without family, if it wasn't for my family, I think I'd have died from there. But they keep you with that love. Their family, it is not about choice. They would have chosen if they were to choose to have a brother who isn't like me, who wasn't a criminal or something. But they stuck with me because they are family. And that love that was there is what kept me rooted in something better. We had wild guys inside there. You're saying prison break. We had the tea bags, they were inside there, you know. There are guys who could be wild as hell. I wouldn't want to give examples of what would happen inside there, you know. But family keeps you sane. When people have reached the end, they know they can do anything, they don't care. Family keeps you saying, no, 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 my mother can't come tomorrow and find that this has happened to me, you know. That one. 3, avoid taking drugs. There are so many kinds of drugs people take these days, it is just too much, you know. You take it in biscuits, you take it cookies, you take it in what? Yeah, some you just rub on yourself and whatever. Things like meth, crack, very, very dangerous things, much worse than marijuana. Once your mind is changed and you start living in a world that isn't real, you know your end has come for you. There's nothing you can do for yourself anymore. You know? Really avoid that. If you had said no to anything, say no. This sex that people want to have before, you know, social media is showing as though people are just whatever. Please just avoid that one, like whatever, like the plague. Because once you're living a life, you're not sure of your status, you're not sure of what. A girl, you get pregnant when you're in school, you know your future is finished. And nobody will see you. Funny thing is, when we're in school, there are the girls who are very popular. You know, that time everybody wanted them. But when you looked at the future after university, they are not married. You know, it's a girl who you are looking at who has, you know, funny ears, what is that, who's getting a very good family and everything. As you are saying, when in qualities you look for, nobody looks at the face or the bums or what, no. You know. So you really need to be careful about this thing. But most important, God. Kids at times may have problems with their parents, but there's knowing there's God who loves you, can go to any time. He covers everything. Okay. I accepted God. This was in after I'd spent around after I tried to escape and they got me. he saved me that time. That's when I said learning. But you know, the growth is a process. I think we need to remind ourselves every day. That's why I believe like faith is just the knowledge that God loves you. You know, that one. So He's saved me ever since I just didn't know it. I just didn't know it. Prison, I was studying Chinese with my Chinese friend. I had books, but the problem is like practice and whatever. In prison, I was the head of prisoners, you know, whereby I am good in Kiswahili. I learned Kiswahili because we had exile in Nairobi, but I had forgotten it a bit. So most of the inmates, especially on death row, we have inmates from all over the country, a number of whom are soldiers. So when you get visitors, I had to translate. So I'm translating either to Kiswahili from English or to, you know, like for different people, different things. So I had Luganda also, I didn't know Luganda very well. These local languages, yes. But I tried to learn Chinese. And we read a lot of books. There's a lot of time and information and whatever. We had time to read, to discuss, to study. It is something else. Now I go back and see those guys because prisons, they gave me permission to go. I encourage certain, you know, different people, you know, and give them hope that things can be better so that they don't become worse than they were before. That's why I said this people about believing something, you're in a problem, and instead of facing the truth to set you free, you end up adding on things that make it worse, yet it could be solved before. So that is what we are trying to avoid.